Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Rose, and here's her story. Dear Ollie, my name is Rose, and I stumbled upon your YouTube channel last week. The first couple days, I listened to all the Narc recordings. I couldn't believe how much each one resonated with me. Your commentaries helped me understand why the Narc is the way he is. I am 48 years old, born a codependent with an alcoholic Narc mom. I'm not sure about my father, but my mother claimed him to be an alcoholic, so they separated a lot during our childhood. They later divorced only to remarry due to my father's illness. I have also been married to a Narc for 19 years, who was also raised by a single alcoholic Narc mom. You know what I find? Because you're not the first person to have parents that divorce and then get remarried. What I find in these cases is it's usually the mother looking to hold on to something, looking to control. So at first she kicks him out because she says she's an alcoholic, though she's an alcoholic and might be projecting it on him. Okay, to make it about herself. Okay, but then later on in life, when the options aren't there, maybe you're getting older, other things are going on, she's looking for things to bring into her life, to give her life meaning. So your father's illness, okay, presents that to give her fucking meaning. Your mother's the type of narcissist, I think, okay, that just looks to take other people's illnesses, other people's occurrences for herself, so she can occupy herself and make it about her. That's what I find a lot of times with these remarriages, and when they pin it on an illness or, the other person's financial situation, though she said he was the alcoholic. Okay, this is her making it about herself again. And I guarantee you she probably does this throughout her life. Before I share my story, you must know that I understand all the decisions in my life have been my own. I do not blame anyone for my unhappiness, but I will say those closest to me, my mom and soon-to-be ex-husband, have not helped. For starters, I'm formerly a teenage mom, having my daughter when I was 18. My parents adopted my baby because my mother gave me two choices when I got pregnant, is what I'm talking about. She told me I could go live with my boyfriend and his parents, or I could give over my rights to my baby over to them. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Your first mistake was going to her in the first place. First of all, you're 18. You're already an adult. For your mother to be making, you'll give me your baby, or you'll get out. Basically was what she told you. Remember what I just told you about your father? She will capitalize on anything and make it her own because she's so fucking empty and narcissistic and vapid. I'm sure looking back now, knowing what you know at 18, you could have figured out some way to do it. Some way. Thank God I'm just happy one of the options wasn't an abortion. Your first mistake was going to the narcissist to begin with. Especially her, because she's just looking. What can I collect? She's a bone collector. She's a bone collector. And by bones, that means she's looking for anything she can get. Because she needs to fill her own emptiness. So the opportunity arises for her to take over, to steal your child away from her, and basically become a mother again, to occupy another 18 years of her life. When did your father come back? Before or after? When was the remarriage? Before or after? My father was retired military, so I knew my baby would get everything she needed physically, medically, and financially. She did make my life hell, especially after my father passed away. Even though we lived at home, I still went to school and had a job. Every paycheck was to be handed over to her. I did that for years. It wasn't until I was 26 that I decided I wasn't going to do that anymore. Fast forward 29 years later, my daughter has made that same decision I made at 26. Of course, in my mother's eyes, she has done nothing but helped us get what we needed. But now we realize it was all under her conditions. Of course it was. Of course it was. So she brought your father. So it appears to me she brought your father back in because of his medical issues, knowing he was going to die. So she needed something else to fill in after he died. She could have given a fuck about your dad, to be honest with you. It was all about her. It was all about her bone collecting. So now at 26, your daughter's made the same decision you made, where you weren't going to take it anymore from her. Well, I'm glad you guys realized it together, and I'm glad your daughter realizes that you're her mother, not her grandmother. She is the only reason I married my husband. When I was watching your video about your ex-wife and how you knew the minute you said "I do" that you had made a mistake. Before we made a commitment to each other as boyfriend-girlfriend, I cheated on him because I knew I didn't like him and wanted nothing to do with him. I was already making plans to dump him right before he found out about my cheating. How did he find out? He went through my emails. Unfortunately, I shared all this with my mother and she lost it. She begged and pleaded with me to make things right. I mean, there it is. Again, when you go to your narcissist looking for help, that's your mistake. That is your first mistake every time, is going to the narcissist to begin with. She begged and pleaded with me to make things right, promising me everything under the sun, so I made it right for her. I knew it was a mistake, but I did it anyway. 2 months into our marriage, he spent all hours of our day rubbing my face in my infidelity and his trust issues. He never stopped. He was in a very dark place again and attempted to take my life one night when my daughter was not home with us. I know now 8 Tylenol PMs cannot kill a person, but I didn't know that then. I just grabbed the closest bottle I could find. I feel dumb writing that out, but that's what happened. For the last 14 years of marriage, he has taken off work weeks at a time. I know it was for his binges. Our entire marriage, every time his parents were to visit, he'd have us cleaning like crazy while he cooked. He would then instruct me to always stand by the stove upon their arrival. He wanted us to behave and not bring up certain subjects to his mother because we had to walk on eggshells with her. Since day one, this woman would either show up drunk, get drunk, and nod off during the visits. She was an RN, so when it came to health-related topics, we were not to question. She later had her license revoked because someone turned her in for showing up to work drunk on the job. We have often told my husband that he made her the center of our marriage because he never stood up for me. All the crazy accusations she would make about me over the years, he just went along with her bullshit because he's a son husband. You married a son husband, you didn't respect him, that's why you cheated on him, that's why you didn't want to be with him, because you knew he was already married to his mommy. He was already married to his mommy and can't get over things. He acts like everything you describe, he acts like a jealous woman who can't get over something. Men usually try to move past it in relationships. It's women who normally harp on things for years and years and years. I'm not saying it's a negative thing. It's just the way I see it. That's the way most women see it. This constant need to throw things up in your face, that's a female tactic. That's a female trait. That's the trait of a son husband. That is the trait of someone who's already mentally married to his mommy. To his drunk mommy. And again, more alcoholism. more alcoholism in your life. And you're right, well, your mother is to blame for all because, what drove you to even be with them to begin with? The tendency for alcoholism, the similarities to your own family. Needless to say, I'm finally seeking a divorce after 19 years. About 3 years ago, my son, then 15 at the time, noticed my husband's narcissistic behavior towards me. He decided to go to rehab after 3 trips to the ER where he had 5 blood transfusions and 3 procedures due to his drinking. After he was home, he was still drinking. This is when I detached myself from him. When he got home, things were great for about 3 days. My children were hopeful, but I was not. I wasn't exactly sure what to think or expect. I would tell him that he needed to go no contact with his mother because she did not support his sobriety. How do you not support somebody who's in the hospital getting blood transfusions and you still don't support it? Because, want to know how? Because really, the narcissistic mother with the son husband would love to kill their own son husband. Would love to cry over the casket of the son husband and martyr themselves. That's the next best thing compared to having the son husband take care of them until they die. Having the son husband die and go through all the emotions of losing a son and a husband at the same time. Plus, she got her own drunky the fuck clown issues. Recently, my mom texted me to let me know she was done with me. She had already been expressing what a mistake I was making by detaching from my husband. She would tell me horrible things about how I was hateful and how she endured so much more than I ever did. She would tell me I will never make it on my own. She would also tell me that divorce was like a death in the family, yet she had 3, one to my father included. At the suggestion of my therapist, I stopped confiding in her. Thank you. This is what I keep trying. That's what I told you. Your first mistake was going to her in the first place, was confiding in her in the first place. You got to stop. You got to cut her off. You got to go no contact, just like your husband. You want your husband to do. Now that she was already upset with me over seeking a divorce and now my daughter pulling her funds away, she has disowned me. I do believe... So your daughter pulling money away from her, do you understand how your mother is just a fucking bone collector? What can I get? What can I get? What can I get? That's all she is. I do believe my soon-to-be ex-husband and I are broken people. I guess that I have always known that. I try to explain to him the differences between our early childhood. His mother didn't want him after he was born, so she gave him away. Really? That's odd. They got him back after 2 weeks of living with another family. She is trying to kill him. She absolutely is trying to kill him. She gave him away as a child and then took him right back. Kind of like how your mother divorced your father and took him back. Do you see how the parallels are all there? She got rid of him, kind of like a funeral, got her supply off that, then got the supply back off of taking him back. And then by taking him back, she turned him into a fucking alcoholic son husband for the rest of his life. Someone who she's now trying to kill through his alcoholism. To the point where he's ending up in the hospital for 3 different fucking blood transfusions. She's trying to repeat what she did. She's trying to kill him. She's trying to give him away. Just like your mother gave away your father when she divorced him and took him. It's the same parallels. You're repeating the same parallels. And it all starts with you confiding in your mother. You going to her in the first place. My parents didn't want me, but they kept me even though I wasn't a boy. My mother was never there for me emotionally, so I don't know why I would expect her to be there for me now. As far as I'm concerned, I'm free from her. I no longer have to worry about breaking my back cleaning her house for the holidays, while she dictates me on what to clean and how to clean it. These past 2 months have been great, even though I have seen her twice. Best of all, after 3 months of counseling, my therapist, who specializes in codependency and narcissism, has told me I'm not the one who needs therapy. She also told me you are normal. You're just surrounded by psychotic narcissists who are starting to see that they can no longer control you. Exactly. She says whatever I'm doing, it is helping and working. I owe it all to you and others who educate me about healing from narcissism abuse through YouTube. Thank you for sharing my story. Thank you so much for being awesome and helping people like me see that narcs in our lives are the problem, not us, Rose. And I'll tell you what, Rose, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back or toot my own horn. I think a lot of people who watch my channel and other channels like this, are better suited to go into therapy because, let's face it, most of these therapists don't know what they're talking about. There's some really good ones, and I'm not anti-therapy at all. I'm anti-bad therapy. Okay, but when you can go in here with some knowledge on narcissism, you're actually helping the therapist sometimes. You're helping them see things and make them into a better therapist. Like, maybe this person is surrounded. I got to look deeper into these because they say they understand codependency and narcissism, and they don't. If you were a boy, you'd have been a son husband, just like your husband's mother did to him. You got to see the parallels between your married life, your husband's life, your mother's life. It's all parallels. But none of this changes, and I think you've already figured this out because you've cut your mother out for 2 to 3 months now. Okay, it's got to be a complete no contact because she's going to still keep coming at you. Your mother's main weapon against you is you. Is you confiding in her? Is you going to her in the first place? That's always your first mistake, is going to the narcissist, is confiding in the narcissist in the first place. Don't do it. Cut them out and don't look back. Same goes for your husband. I mean, you have children with him, so you can't cut him out completely. But he doesn't want to face the fact that his own mother wants to kill him. Just like she tried to give him away for her own supply, and then the whole drama of getting him back, and now look how good of a mother I am. He's doing it again through the alcohol. And he can't see it, and you can't be around it. And you got too much fucking alcoholism around you. And alcohol is just fucking poison to me. It's poison. I hate it. I never liked it. That's just the way I am. That's just the way I am. I mean, I just don't like it because I know what it does. Because I got my own drunky the fuck clown mother. Sucking vodka bottles dry. Sucking them inside out. So, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for your contribution and story, Rose. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it successful, growing, and expanding, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you guys. Without you guys, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.